Hey guys, I'm Patrick, and today I'm going to be making this video and pretty much this entire channel on me just talking in front of the camera and not ranting or any bollocks like that. This is just me actually how I am, which might be quite nice for some of you. But anyway, today I'm going to be talking about Amanda Todd, and if any of you don't know who she is, just go up there and search her name on the YouTube. She posted a video, and it was basically a story of her life from a couple of years ago to nowish, or this time, and it went into quite a lot of detail about her. Wait, I'll just tell you a story. Basically, she was online one day, and most of us know or have done this, and she was speaking to a guy, and he asked for a nude photo of her. So this isn't very uncommon. If you're sitting there thinking, oh, what a slut. Not really. That happens quite a lot, at least round here and on the rest of the internet, which is a pretty big place. But she was speaking to a guy, and this guy was a dick. I don't know how else I could put that. He was a dick. She sent him a picture of her, things, boobs, if you call them that, which you probably will. And he proceeded to make a Facebook group with her boobs as the photo. So you can probably tell how she reacted to that. She wasn't really best pleased. And all of this, over time, she did some bad stuff, and it led to her being depressed and self-harming, and it eventually led to her suicide. She is dead at the moment. But what I'm saying is she's got a lot of support from people telling her that she shouldn't have died, which I agree with. She should not have died. She shouldn't have killed herself. There's always a better option. There's always light at the tunnel. I know it sounds really, really cliche, but there is actually always light at the end of the tunnel. If you are depressed, that's probably the lowest point in your life. So if you look around to the rest of your life when you're 30 and have kids and stuff, and actually have a nice life, then the time when you're 30, that seems pretty good compared to now, where you might be depressed. Or if you've been in that situation before and you're out of depression, how much better does it feel now than it did 5, 10, 15 years ago, when your life wasn't in the best of states? Life is sort of like a bumpy road. As you go through it, you have your ups and you have your downs. And the reason for the downs is, it might be your fault, it might be someone else's fault. You might have done something really bad, someone else might have done something really bad that influenced you in some way. But the thing is about the bad points is that they make everything else, relative to the bad point, seem so much better. And trust me, if you're depressed at the moment, it will get better. And I know you're probably sitting there thinking, well, to be honest, Patrick, you seem like a pretty happy guy and you don't really seem depressed to me, so why would you know about this stuff? And yeah, it is true. I do like my life, as knobby as that sounds. I do like what I do, and I like everything about my life. There are a few bad things, but I just brush over those. They're just bumps. But I'm not completely naive to a depressed person and depression in general. So you're probably thinking, well, why would I take advice from someone who isn't in the same state as I am? And that's the reason why I like giving out advice to people that are sadder than me. I just think if they're surrounded by people that actually are enjoying themselves and stuff, then they themselves will also do that. Whereas if they were getting, say, mentoring from someone who's also depressed, so you've got a depressed person and they're being talked to about how to quit depression from another depressed person, that's not really going to work. So if you are depressed, that's very sad, but don't go trying to tell other people how not to be depressed, because you are depressed yourself. It's a little bit hypocritical, as bad as that may sound. What instead you can do if you are depressed is speak to someone who isn't depressed, because they won't know what you're going through, but that doesn't matter. They don't need to know what you're going through. They just need to be there. They need to be a stable person. But yeah, depression is abnormal. There's no other way of putting it, really. Depression isn't a normal thing. Not many people actually are depressed in general. And I'm talking about clinical depression, not just having a bad day, which happens to all of us, and it's a really bad thing when you have a bad day, but you get up the next morning and it's all fine. Whereas with depression, you have a bad day, but unfortunately that day is like a day on Jupiter. Yeah, that's what I meant. So yeah, their bad day just prolongs for 10, 20 days, months, years. This can happen. It's not a short-term thing. Depression is a very long-term thing that if you are depressed, it's going to affect your entire life. You're not just going to wake up the next day and be like, oh, I was depressed. That's fine. There'll be marks, there'll be scars, but you'll just have to get over that. And then seeing all that heal and seeing everything get better in your life will just enhance that tenfold. There are people who have alright lives. They're just neutral. And if you are depressed, think of what you would give to have their lives. You'd give anything, really, because you just want to be normal. That's what depression comes from, in many senses of the word. You just want to be normal. So if you were normal, wouldn't that be 10 times better? It wouldn't even be normal. To you, you'd be the happiest thing in the world. Which is why it's so great to see people that have been depressed a lot happier. Because you do get these people. You get people who have been depressed and they are not depressed anymore. They're not on antidepressants or any other drugs. They're not doing therapy anymore. But they spend a vast amount of their time talking about how they used to be depressed. Can you not see how that is just going to lead to even more depression? If you keep on thinking about something, then it's just going to happen even more. Think about Christmas. If you were just sitting there all year thinking about Christmas, thinking, yes, December the 25th, that is going to be a great day. When it gets to Christmas, you're going to definitely recognise that it is Christmas, obviously, rather than 5 days before, on the 20th, just thinking, haven't got anyone any presents. Can you stop doing that? And that's what I mean. If you keep on talking and thinking about something, you know that it's just going to happen eventually. It's just logic, really. And that is sort of how depression should be dealt with. It should be dealt with logically, not illogically, thinking, oh yeah, we're just going to give them rose-tinted glasses so they see everything better. They need to see the world for what it actually is, because they want to be normal, and that's what everyone else does. And, people don't understand. If you just treat them as something special, like, oh no, don't touch her, she's depressed. She doesn't want that, or he. They don't want that. They want to be treated like someone normal. Most cases of depression, and I'm talking like teenage depression, not, say, 40-year-old, midlife crisis, stuff like that, like, ran out of money, stuff like that. Most people who are actually clinically depressed, and not just unhappy, most of that is caused by wanting to fit in and other people around them. And love. Love is a massive part of depression. And I know it sounds weird because they're two completely different things. You have love, which is meant to be, oh, that's the greatest thing ever. And then you have depression. But in most cases, most of the people that you meet will do something bad, and you'll do something bad eventually. And then that will lead to you two either splitting up or staying together. And you stay together and you get depressed. That's as simple as I could put it, really. If you know something's bad is happening, then get out of it straight away, basically. Because you know that it's just going to kill you inside, and it's just going to eat away at you. And this cat's attacking me. He's eating away at me. And you know eventually you will end up splitting up with a person in some way, because you'll do something so astronomically bad, or they'll do something so astronomically bad that it will eventually happen. So really, by staying together with someone when you don't really like the relationship and getting depressed because of that, that is just delaying the inevitable. So really, if you can get anything out of this video, if you're not depressed, then you can take this. If you are depressed, then you can also take this. If you're in a relationship and you don't like it, you have the ability to get away from it straight away. You're not married to the person. You can just be like, nah, I'm alright. This isn't really suiting me. See you later. Also, speak to someone who isn't in the same situation you're in. You'd be surprised how many people actually want to talk to you about how you're feeling and stuff. So find someone you really, really trust and then go speak to them about it, because 9,999 times out of 10,000, they're going to want to know how you're feeling and what's upsetting you. And they're going to want to try and fix you. Give them that opportunity and don't go bottle it up in yourself and go and do something stupid. See you later.